Today we are here with Chris Draft. Thanks for coming through for What's Next, Chris. We have former NFL player and founder of Team Draft. So, Draft, tell us about the foundation, Team Draft.
Well, Team Draft was founded by me and my wife on our wedding day in November 27, 2011. Before that day, my wife Keisha came to me. She said, "What if we don't get presents? What if we ask our family and friends to donate to the foundation so that we can fight against lung cancer?" She was diagnosed December of 2010, and that was, that was the time when she was ready to fight back, ready to get the community together and make it clear that it wasn't about her, but it was about the community. And so, again, unfortunately, it's been 10 years, that we founded Team Draft, so not unfortunate, but fortunate. But she passed away December 27, 2011, so it's almost now 10 years since she's passed. And so we've been doing that commitment of changing the face of lung cancer since that time, that commitment that has to be built on people and loving people. And so before I could move forward after Keisha passed, I had to ask 3 questions, really serious questions. And that was, could I move forward in the work that we do and recognize that nothing would bring my wife back, nothing would bring Keisha back? Could I be excited for people that are doing well based on the new things that are happening? And am I willing to fight for it? Am I willing to fight for the things that are happening? Because we know it takes a little while for things to come out. Am I willing to fight so that everyone that has the ability to benefit gets it? And then the other part, am I willing to just love on our people and make sure that they know that regardless of what's going on, my wife only lived for a year, but regardless if she lived for a year or not, she was loved throughout by her family and friends around her. So will we make sure that if someone is diagnosed and they live for a short amount of time or a long amount of time, that they got people in their corner to let them know that they are loved?
What is it feeling like when you know you're changing people's lives with this organization?
What does it feel like to know that you're changing lives? I mean, well, when you know that it's not something like this crazy over-the-top feeling as much as it's this feeling of, yes, it's right. And to give you an example of that is I had a friend of mine whose dad got diagnosed with lung cancer, and I was one of the first people that he called and got him connected with an oncologist that got them a plan, and in doing that, and also with a narrative that allowed his dad to be ready to fight. His dad had a smoking history, and I told him, I said, the cigarette industry got indicted in 1998. So anybody who has a smoking history that gets lung cancer, we've already proven that they're victims of this industry. So he was able to meet his dad with, don't blame yourself, and let's go to work. So don't blame yourself. I got you. And you know what? Mass Jen's got you. Chris Draft's got you. Let's go get it. And so it's really those types of things to say that, if I would say that I'm doing amazing work if we could make it where there's just no lung cancer. But in this case, there's still going to be lung cancer. So they'll go over the top. It would be hard to say, but more just to love people where they are and challenge the community to do that, to make sure that we can save as many people based on what we have. I would just say more, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. So I know you talk about, family and friends, but how much does the community play a part in something such as big like this?
Because the community is huge, so we can always look at it for the person who is diagnosed with lung cancer, that individual. You can think of a community really more of just surrounding them. But what I challenge people to do is to think of the most important fact that I learned, and me and my wife learned right after her diagnosis. She was 37 years old, amazing shape, had never smoked. I mean, this woman did, 37 years old? That anyone can get lung cancer. And so when we look at community, it can be a community where you're just focusing on the survivors, or what you can look at it as a community. If you believe that anyone can get lung cancer, then the community is our community, this greater community that, just like breast cancer, invests, that believes it can happen to them, and so they invest in it. It's not that they're saying, oh my goodness, that I have to wait for something to happen for me to do something, but they recognize that it can happen. So instead of claiming the community when it does happen, they're able to be a part of the community before it does.
Now we see you got your white ribbon in your hand, which says Lung Cancer Awareness. Talk about the White Ribbon Project for us.
So the White Ribbon Project, man, I can't be more proud of the founders of the White Ribbon Project. So Heidi Onda and Pierre Onda in Denver, Colorado founded the White Ribbon Project really September, October of 2020, so basically just last year. But you can actually say that the White Ribbon Project wasn't founded until other survivors said they wanted to get the white ribbon. And so what I'll say is that Heidi had bought into our teaching from Team Draft that if we wanted to change the level of awareness, there are people that control that awareness, the cancer centers being one, ACS, CDC, these big organizations that do it. And so in Colorado, her cancer centers weren't, really coming up with a plan for Lung Cancer Awareness Month. And so at the end of September, she said, well, basically, if you don't want to do anything, we can't, as survivors, as advocates, we can't wait for you. So she told her husband, can you make me a big such and such a white ribbon so I can put it on the door and we won't have to apologize. We can just put it there. We can put facts in our lawn and we don't have to wait for a cancer center. We don't have to wait for an organization. This is what we can do. She then shared it via Zoom with other advocates from Denver and challenged them not to get a white ribbon, but to tie, say, white ribbons around their trees and really just be unapologetic about raising awareness. Well, she challenged them to do that, and then they looked at the background because she was like, and my husband made me one of these, really just to help out in her advocacy. And the survivor said, can we get one? Would he make us one? And so those other survivors asked for a ribbon. And I can say that that can be the start of the White Ribbon Project, because that's when the other survivors asked, and it became this collective movement, this collaborative movement that wasn't that they were trying to force the ribbons on them, but they asked for them, and they asked for them so that they could be empowered to stand up, so they could have control. And so from there, these ribbons are now that Heidi and Pierre have made over 1,200 ribbons. They're all over the world, 28 countries. They've made over 4,000 of them, got the leaders all over the United States, again, all Canada, all over the place. And it's been about control for each of the advocates and reminding them if we want things to change, that we can't wait. Heidi made that clear. She said, if you don't have a plan, that can't stop me. And then by challenging other people, that it can't stop us. If it matters, then we have to have a sense of urgency in changing it. The White Ribbon Project, it says you are not alone. Here it's for you. You are loved. But at the same time, it's also saying that if we want things to change, if we want things better for people because we love them, then we will have a sense of urgency.
If it was one thing you could tell anybody that's watching this, if they have lung cancer or any type of cancer or just a fan of you, what would you want to tell them?
Man, if I could tell people anything, if it's lung cancer, I'm going to tell you that anyone can get it. Anyone can get lung cancer. And if you have cancer, what I'm going to tell you is, I care about you. All right? You're not alone. You know I'm fighting. You know I'm here. One of the things that I was excited about is when the NFL changed the platform of Crucial Catch to all cancers. That change happened December of 2016. That carried over into the 2017 season. And I was so excited for it because before that moment, it was all about celebrating breast cancer. After it, there was nobody that would be in the stands, and especially when I was thinking of a young kid, they're looking at their parent and they have a cancer that is not breast cancer, and they're saying, well, Mommy, Daddy, why aren't you down on the field? Why aren't they celebrating you? They would have to say, because it's not for me, right? I was so happy. I was so excited for that change to happen because it sends a message that we got you. We got you. We understand that you did not pick your cancer. You didn't say, let me get this cancer. It happened to you. We stand with you. We meet you where you are. And I wish we could do more because you're the one that has to carry it. Your family has to carry it directly. But whatever we can do to support you, we want to be able to do it. And more important than anything, you need to know that you are not alone and we care about you.
Thank you so much for coming along and talk to us, Chris. Let us know where they can find you and what's next for your organization.
So they can find it at chrisdraftfamilyfoundation.com. They can go to teamdraft.com, and then they can definitely go and find out more information at the whiteribbonproject.org. And I'm going to tell you this, what's next? This week, I'm going out in Georgia. I'm going out to Georgia, and we're going to hit some cities. And again, this White Ribbon Project is about love, appreciation, and urgency. So I'm going to Savannah, I'm going to Macon, going to LaGrange, Columbus, Albany, Gainesville, Athens, Augusta, Marietta, ATL, to make sure that we can take ribbons that were made and give them to people. We made a big ribbon in Centennial Park for my anniversary, marking the 10-year anniversary of it. A big ribbon with ribbons. Made some designs of Georgia and love at the Home Depot backyard. And that was a place that ideally we would have had Georgia lung cancer communities descend on Atlanta, and then they would have made ribbons and taken them back. But we didn't get that to happen. And so we're going to take these ribbons and other ribbons that were made around Georgia, and we're going to present them to the survivors. Right? Because it's not about just making them. This is a process of getting this done. And that process is a process that's made with love. But the reality is making them with love is one thing, but we have to give them with love. So I have the opportunity. I've got the pleasure of being able to go around and meet survivors all over Georgia and let them know that they are loved. Let the people that are taking care of them, let them know that they are appreciated. And then challenge everyone to know that we have to have a sense of urgency. And so the other people that are going to get it, let me say it again, as I'm going to Savannah, St. Joseph is there, and they're going to get ribbons from the Pirates of the Maine, who made ribbons already down there. We'll go to Macon. They're going to get ribbons from the Pirates of the Maine too. I'm going to go to LaGrange and going to Columbus. There's this amazing school, Jordan Vocational, that made ribbons for St. Francis and Emory. Go to Albany. I got a chance to go down this Windsor. Listen, what am I saying? Deerfield, Windsor, my bad. They made ribbons. We made them together. 70 ribbons. The football team, the cheerleading squad stood up and made them. We're getting them to the survivors. Coming back up to Gainesville, they're going to get some of the ribbons that we made here together. We're going to go to Athens. They're going to get some of the ribbons that were made here in Atlanta together. They'll go to Augusta. They're going to get some of the ribbons from the Pirates of the Maine, a high school sorority group. And then we're going to come back to the ATL. And when I say that we got to get WellStar, Patty Watkins, she stood together. She's a survivor, stood with a scouting group that's made up some amazing young women. They made 64 ribbons, so 65 ribbons together. Those ribbons, 12, so about 60 of those, 12 at each site. 12 are going to go to WellStar. 12, the survivors at WellStar. 12 are going to go to survivors at Northside. 12 at Winship. 12 at Piedmont. And then 12 at Grady Health. That's going to be our last spot. And Grady, hopefully, when we get that done, our CEO of American Cancer Society will be there, as we recognize that Grady is not just a place where a whole bunch of Grady babies were turned out, but Grady's a place that's at the nexus of the Falcons, the NFL, Morehouse, Emory, downtown American Cancer Society. And it's that way because Grady is one of the lung health sites for the Crucial Catch Grant. And so hopefully we'll be able to get the CEO of American Cancer Society down there, but more importantly, we get a chance to celebrate that what happens here in the Atlanta area, what happens here in Georgia, actually affects the world. So we have to have a sense of urgency, but that urgency is not just about doing things, but really loving our people enough to do what it takes to support them.
We thank you again, Chris, for coming on and talking to us about your organization, about you, everything you got going on. We appreciate you. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you.